Welcome back to the Gaelic Gridiron podcast. Delighted to be joined today by Virginia Tech Hokies defensive tackle, Mr. Wilfried Pene. Will, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How you doing, Jimmy?
I'm great, thanks. Thanks for jumping on. Will, like we were just saying there before I hit record, like you've such a fascinating story. I mean, tell me about it. How did you go from playing, American football in France to playing at one of the biggest universities in America?
So one day I went to, so I was 14 years old. I went to like some open sports door. So like that's an event in France where a bunch of different sports show up and they try to recruit people. They try to explain to people what the sport is. And those coaches see me and come at me, say like, yo, do you want to play American football? And I say, why not? So and since then I never stopped. So it really started like this. It was funny. And after that, so I play in France for I will say like 3-4 years. And after that I went to high school in Connecticut
Yeah.
where once more I play like I really play like for a full year. We only play 7 games. Uh, and I got recruited by Virginia Tech.
So, like, let's rewind a little bit. So, you're from Tour, right? How do you go from there to high school in America? I mean, how does that happen?
So I play in my hometown for like a year or two, and after that I got recruited by the national team
Yeah.
and the national academy in France, uh, where I played like for like 2 years, and after that I was like, okay, so I played the European Championship where we came a vice champion in Europe in 2017, if I'm right. And after that, in 2018, I played with the senior in Amiens, so the National Academy stuff, where I was playing with like older people, and I was only 17 years old. So I was like, okay, we came uh, champ, national champion, and I was like, okay, now I want to play at the next level. But at the same time, I didn't want to go to, I don't know, Canada or something like that. I wanted to do something different than every people. So I was like, okay, the next step is what? The US. And I got like one of my friend who knows some people, and he plugged me in. And since then, after that, he found me at high school, and I went to that high school, like I say, in Connecticut. And yeah, after that, got recruited.
And what was it about, like, when you went down to that sports day when you were 14 years old? What was it about American football that said, "Yeah, this is my sport. This is what I want to play"?
So I always loved like physical sports. So before I play American football, I usually I was doing what they call judo, boxing, wrestling, and stuff like that. So I always was like a physical guy. And the day I saw like the opportunity to play American football, I watched a couple of videos. Uh, and the funny part was like videos of Kim Chancellor, uh, who also was a player at Virginia Tech. So that's also like a funny story, because that he was one of the first player I watched, and I did not play where he was. So so yeah, I watched him like on his YouTube video. I'm like, whew, the hits are
Yeah, yeah,
hard and stuff like that. So I'm like, I like that. And after that, I got one practice, and I said, okay, no, that's my sports.
yeah. And you obviously you played on the defensive side of the ball primarily, and now at Virginia Tech, you're a defensive tackle. You know, you had 10 tackles and a sack last season. So was it that physicality that attracted you to the position of defensive line?
It's really like, I don't know. It's like I would really love being like physical, but at the same time, it's very like technique.
Mm.
Like it's a lot of technique behind all that. Like people think it's just like two big men who like go against each other and like just try to push each other. But it's very technique. You have a lot of technique behind for make just one TFL, one sack, or even just one tackle. You have a lot of technique behind that, and I think that's what I love the most is really like the craft of my game and like the technique. I love doing all of that.
And it's you're not getting the glory sometimes that the defensive ends or other defensive players might get. You're doing all the dirty work inside.
And we do. That's what my coach called. He called that in the shit. That's what he called it. He said when you're inside, is in the shit because everything happened fast. The O line are more dirty inside and stuff like that. So yeah. You don't get like the glory every time, but it's okay. It's fun.
So you went to high school from France in America, and you were playing in Connecticut, and I think you might have wrestled as well. Is that right?
Yeah, I did wrestling back in Connecticut too. I went like all the way to the state champion, and yeah.
And when you were getting recruited coming out of high school, what was it about the Virginia Tech Hokies that said, okay, I mean, tell me about that recruiting process. How did that go?
So at first, it was during my senior year when I really get like all the attention of my offers and stuff like that. And Virginia Tech was one of the biggest offer I had at that time. And I was like, okay, so they came couple times, see a couple of my games, and I was like, they are the first one to like first big school to trust me and to believe in me. So I was like, I need to give them a shot. I'm a really loyal guy. So if you show me love, the first, I'm probably gonna be working for you.
And
So that's why I
well,
choose
that's
after
that's
Virginia Tech.
definitely that's a great reason. That's the best reason out there. I mean, I'm a big college football fan, and anyone who's a college football fan has seen, the way you guys, the Hokies, come out into the field and Enter Sandman is playing, and it looks like it's absolutely electric. It's crazy having all the fans jumping up and down. But like, tell me about being in
It's
the tunnel and experiencing that. Like, what's it like?
man, it's crazy. Like I remember the first time I went to the tunnel and I heard the music. I was like, damn! Like I was feeling the floor shaking. The ground was actually shaking. Like you heard like the noise is very loud, and I got like a goosebump, and I was like, shoo, that's what it is. And I was like, after when I run and I see like the stadium like full of people jumping and stuff like that, I was like, no, that's crazy. Like the entry is crazy at Virginia Tech, and but again, we got one of the I will say the best fan base in America in college football. I will say, like last season, for example, every all our game was sell out, like so it was full every time. So that's how you see like our fan are crazy.
And did you ever think when you started playing football, American football, all those years ago, that you would end up playing in a Division 1 college football stadium in front of maybe 60, 70,000 people? Like, did you ever even dream of that?
Not even like really when I started that sports. Um, I was just like, okay, like I love that sport. I was watching videos of players. I was like, yeah, like it have to be crazy if like one day I can even just put one foot on on one of those stadium, like just go and see one game. And today being able like to actually play is crazy. Like I never really like think about it when I was young players. Is really when my last year in the National Academy in 2018 when we went to national championship, and I was like, hold up, I'm gonna have the talent enough for like at least go in high school. And after that, when I was in high school, I was like, hold up, I just beat a guy in front of me who have like Georgia offer, Alabama offer. So I'm like, hold up, that's what it is. So I was like in my head now, I was like actually more thinking like, okay, now I do have the potential to play G1 football. So it really came like slowly,
Yeah,
step by
so like
step.
it's definitely been a process, and like as you went from playing with your local team then to going to the national academy, and all the way through international, playing for France for high school and to Virginia Tech. What kind of stands out to you as like your favorite football memory, or like what's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you playing football?
The craziest, I will say it was when I was that was one of the crazy moment for me. Is like, I mean, in the bad way I will say, but at the same time in the good way. That's where I learned that I was actually, yeah, a big football player in France. Is um at one game I was playing one team where like the parents in the sideline was yelling like, kick out that player, he's too big, he's too dangerous for our kids. And I was like, damn, I'm the same age than every people here on the field. Like, why you hate on me? So, but by hearing that, I was like, okay, that was the source of motivation for me, because every time, everywhere I go, like people will say, no, you're not good enough, or you don't have the talent, or you're not strong enough. And just because of those people, that's really what make me want to do more. Is today I would say that's probably one of my favorite moments, that when people
Yeah.
was hating on me, told them, look where I am. So it's not really on the field. I don't have like specific moment on the field, but it's more about
Yeah.
like my life while I live and stuff like that. Who are my favorite moments?
You talk about, one of the first kind of American football videos you've seen was with Cam Chancellor, obviously, Legion of Boom, Seattle Seahawks. But are there any other players who you try to emulate as a defensive tackler, who you try to base your game on and try to, be like them, or not, maybe not be like them, but who inspire you to play better?
I will say probably like I mean James Harrison. I mean he's more like a DN, but uh when I learned about his story that he got never
Yeah.
get drafted. Uh, he got cut I don't know how many times by the Steelers, and still went back and forth, and at the end he
Hmm.
become like a Hall of Famer. I was like, that's really like a proof of like, even if right now nobody see my talent, it's okay. Like just keep working, and I might one day achieve what I want to do. And like really like James Harrison was one of them I was watching. Um After more recently like
Yeah.
Fletcher Cook from the Eagles. Of course, after Aaron Donald, all those players in the tackle area, I look a little bit, try to emulate some move they do, technique they do, and stuff like that.
And is that your aspiration to play in the NFL? I mean, I know you're coming into your redshirt senior year now at Virginia Tech. So is that a decision that you're looking at, or are you going back to college for one more year to try and get even better and better, and then go to the draft maybe the year after?
No, I really try like that this year. That's what I told my strength coach, for example. I was like, I'm treating that year as my last year. Really want to go to the league this year. I mean, I got some stuff back home, so that's why like I'm like, okay, that's enough. I play like almost 4 years. I mean, I'm gonna be playing 4 years this year, and I'm like, okay, now that I feel that's time for me
Yeah.
to give my shot, and that happened. That happened. If not, it's okay. Like I got other plan, but my real goal, yes, is to go to the league, also for be like one
Yeah.
of the rare French people to ever in the
I mean,
NFL.
like, so it's one more year at Virginia Tech, one more shot, and then on to the NFL. And where would be your
Yeah,
dream franchise
hopefully.
to play? I mean, I mean, there's nothing stopping you getting drafted from what I've seen watching your tape. But I mean, where would you love to play?
I mean, really, like anywhere. Like again, like I'm a really like I said, loyal guy. So like whoever believe in me first, like I don't care what it can be Of course, if he can be in the hot area, I would prefer. But even if he's in the cold, I don't care. Like, it's still like a blessing. Like, if I can aspire like just to put one foot in the NFL, that would be like crazy to me. So I don't really. It
Yeah.
doesn't really matter to me.
I mean that's awesome. So looking at the NFL, I mean looking at international players, I mean you probably saw the news recently enough about all um the international player pathway. I mean, so you mightn't be the first French guy for a while in the NFL. If you do make it, you're definitely one of those who are like blazing a trail for international players to make it into the NFL. So like, is that like for you an additional bonus that you're able to raise awareness of the NFL in France, maybe for people who have dreamed of playing in the NFL at some stage?
Mhm. Yeah, no, that's definitively something I'm looking for. Maybe like after the season. Um, so I know we get like this international pathway, NFL pathway, who will be a big help. I think so. Um, and yeah, I mean, I will take all the opportunity I can have, like from agent to the international NFL pathway. So we're gonna see. So for now, I'm
Yeah.
like more focused on like the preparation than really thinking about that right now. But yeah, that's something is
And
in the
who's
back in
the?
my mind. Yeah.
I'm curious because I mean, obviously, I love college football here. I'm curious to know who is the toughest program that you've gone up against in your time with the Hokies.
The tougher
Like, have you ever played
program?
against an SEC team, for example?
No, not yet. We play Big Ten,
Yeah.
but even against Big Ten team, I was surprised that like when people talk about like okay the SEC Big Ten and stuff like that are big guy. I was like, no, really. I mean, I play against Big Ten. I was surprised that some of the O line are not even that big. Or like, it's really like when I was at first, it's not I was like scared because I'm not scared
I
of
love it.
anybody, but I'm like I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a good challenge. Like I'm not going to play against Big Ten players, so they're supposed to be bigger, stronger, faster. And when I went in the field, and I was like, hold up, they're just
Yeah.
normal. Like they got nothing crazy. So I was like so
Yeah.
for me, like every program is tough. Like every program is tough. Like college is tough, mentally, physically. Uh, so for me, every program is tough.
Wilfried, this has been absolutely fascinating, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how far you go. It's such a cool story, and I really hope that your story inspires anyone out there who is thinking of playing college football or even thinking of playing American football in general, from
Hmm.
be it in France or in Ireland. Before I let you go, obviously we have the at the time of recording, it is the NFL Conference Championships tonight. I don't know if you'll be watching or not. Who is your pick for the Super Bowl?
Hmm. Uh, I don't know. I guess a couple of my ex teammates who
Okay.
now play for the Lion. Um, so I want to support them, but at the same time, I know they're gonna play against um San Francisco, the 49ers. So I'm like, I don't know because I like the 49ers. They got they got Bosa, they got Chase Young, so good D line. So I'm like, it might be tough. So I don't know for that one. But after for like the other one is
The Chiefs, yeah.
the Ravens against I forgot the Chief. And I probably go with the Ravens on that one. But after for like the Lions and the 49ers, I don't
It's
know.
gonna be interesting.
I
Well,
don't know.
Wilfried Pene, thank you so much for joining me in the podcast. Like, it really is fantastic to see fellow Europeans making it in big time college football. And look, best luck with the preparations for your spring in the season ahead. We'll keep in touch, and hopefully one day we'll see you playing in the NFL.
I appreciate that.
All
And
the
yeah,
best, Wilfried.
hopefully. Thank you.